All right, here we go. Power hour session. Rebooted the browser, hoping that the lag goes away because that was killing me during the lunch session. Just here for documenting purposes so I can come back, review this. I feel like keeping the camera on helps keep me a little more in check, a little more collected. So let's see what we got going on here. Lunch took a couple break evens on this way up. I wasn't in a demo. I wasn't trading eval or funded. Took a couple break evens on the way up. I wasn't really liking this continuations, high resistance liquidity. We can see the lunch consolidation. We're coming back into discount of the range. So for power hour, the moment, I'm really feeling a little more bullish than bearish on power hour. We have flipped the afternoon. Let me turn some of this stuff off. First presentation fair value gap. We have flipped that, which is a bearish signal. I do think we'll come down to discount. We have an hourly see which chart I want to show this on. Let's take a look. Let's flip over to the other screen, I guess. So yeah, I was expecting this gap to get filled in. Looks like it has on the hourly. So now this is balanced. We're in the macro. I want to go back actually to this other chart. I'm seeing some response on the 1 minute I want to look at. No inversions. We do have this first presentation fair. That's hard to say out loud. Say that 10 times fast. First presentation fair value gap, which could act as an inversion to flip. The opening range, though, from 130 to 2. That's starting to look a little bearish to me. We took buy side. Let's see what we took on the buy side. Yeah, it's getting a little laggy again. Must be running OBS doesn't like it, but on the stream it didn't seem to show it too bad. So we took buy side up there. Wasn't session liquidity, I don't think, because that was the New York AM high over there. We're still above our daily low, weekly low. We're above the original consolidation for this morning. We do have some equal lows down there. Right here too. That's what I was eyeballing during lunch. I was waiting for it to sweep those equal lows. So I could see it coming for those potentially. 15 minutes looking bullish. Consolidation-ish. Not a high probability afternoon, but I'm just looking at an eval. So 1 hour has a pretty solid rejection block. 4 hour has a gap. I guess I can go over to that screen. So here on the 1 hour, got this rejection block. Ooh, the new hour just opened. Yep. The 4 hour, we have 2 hours till that closes, but we have this gap forming right there. Oh, wow. Okay, we're going back to the screen. Look at that bullish response above that first presentation fair value gap. It's inside of a macro. Liquidity has been swept. Don't have an SMT. Also haven't tapped into a higher time frame level. I'm not gonna trust the first presentation fair value gap on its own, so that'd be a little risky to me. Kind of feel like, what time is it? The hourly open. Guess we can just leave that on the chart. It's not too many markings. Gosh, I like the flip of that first presentation fair value gap. It looks like a liquidity sweep. We got these equal lows down here that we're taking. Maybe I'll let it build a little more market structure. Maybe take a continuation setup. I think I want to see more. Oh, look at that, inverting that already. Well, hard to say. Equal highs right there, kinda, on a lower time frame. Right, forgot what I was doing for a quick second. I wanted to see it come down at least into the 15-minute fair value gap down in there. Or I long it, or I need to see more market structure. Unless just to consider the possibility that this is the high a day. It is possible. It helps me to build cases both ways. Like I have a little bit of a medium time frame bullish bias. The 1 hour's bullish, 15's bullish. 4 hours kind of where I start to get bearish. We do have bigger SMTs on the 4 hour forming, but I gotta consider that that's high a day too. I guess there'd probably be a larger SMT if that were the case. Let's, I don't know, go to a 15. Let's see, what do we got here? Boom to boom. We do have an SMT, a bearish SMT. Right there with ES. Now, how far down does that send it? It's a different question, but we do have to consider that. I do have to consider that we. I don't know why I say we, because it's me. Probably because I was an influencer for a long time. I taught people how to live self-sufficiently, grow food, harvest rainwater, raise animals, things like that, build soil, manage land. And I had like a 500,000 followers at one point across all the platforms. And so it just comes naturally to me to speak as if people are watching and as if we're doing something together. Buy side looks juicy down there. Yeah, man. Wow. I'd like So this is our latest SMT. Check for bullish. Didn't think there was anything more recent than that last time I checked. We had a bullish SMT down here with YM. I want to stop there. There was bullish SMT with YM, but that's not as current. I'm not even paying. I'm gonna go down to the 1 minute real quick. Get back there. This is laggy. OBS is not treating this well. It was fine before I started OBS. Look at that inversion. See, that just makes me want to short it. That inversion above this hourly open, like that in and of itself could be a whole trading strategy. On the 1 minute, like, doesn't fully meet my criteria, and like kinda, it's not really, that's not a swing, that's just a green candle. Close, but just kind of tape reading this idea. I've been thinking about it, you know. You could literally long and short the hourly open. This kind of thing, say, hey, I think this candle is bearish, you know, and do that, assuming this is the wick of the candle. I kind of don't at the moment, so I'm not gonna. Well, I'm not looking for longs. It might pull out. You might pull a 1-to-1 out of that. I mean, I don't know if there's any local SMT, bearish SMT. No. Wait, just tape reading at the moment. So, you know, we got bearish order flow. We got down close candles resisting up close candles. We got this in fair value gap inverted. We closed below that order block. Right? Not a technically order block, but I call them order blocks. And all this sell side liquidity over here. And coming down into the discount of the range, which NQ hasn't really been liking to do that a ton. It just kind of has been going into freight train mode often, where and this afternoon is really interesting. Very wicky. Look at all this. In fact, now that I say that, seeing these wicks makes me really disinterested in price action at the moment. From the point in time in which I was saying I didn't really want to pay attention to this, look at that. Just wicked its way. And then I wanted to come back for power hour and see what power hour looked like, and kind of looking about the same with large candles and wicks. I mean, the wick on this one, it's 190 tick wick, 500 tick 1 minute candle. All right, look at that. That's short, remember? I forgot. I was going to leave that up here. The idea was, if you come back pretty much past that point, you're done. And just 1-to-1, that would have hit. So just a continuation traded. A little less wicky in here. Now I'm like looking at that. You have one large wick there, but it looks much better once we're in power hour here. Volume imbalance. So let's just take a look. We're coming into we have a 5-minute fair value. NASDAQ. Jeez Louise. We'll put that on the chart. I got that over on this other screen, so. Just label it. It's a BISI actually, but I'll call it a fair value gap for now. Just tracking order flow, down closed candles, supporting down, up close, resisting up closed candles. We have the weekly low. We have a few things going on in here. Yeah, we have the new week opening gap from last night. Here we're coming into the Goldbach 243. We got a zone right there. For that range. I think it's it's a 729. That's pretty large. Let's look at the 243. Still. So we price resisted off of this top of the range, coming down to this bottom side of the range. What time is it? 3:10. So we're outside of the 250 to 310 macro. Cracks me up. So my thinking is somewhere down in here, potentially a reversal is where it will happen. If not, just off sides. And it's actually bearish, and it's gonna, come up, do some kind of small response, and then continue on downwards. So we'll see if there's any SMT down here or what. Let me see here. Cool, looking at the right screens. And then, I thought I had power hour marked out until 4 o'clock. We'll say. Oh. No, let's see here. So coming back down, testing this original consolidation here, kind of like the AM. So lunch came down and retested the morning consolidation, the original consolidation. Power hours coming down and testing the lunch consolidation. Flip that first presentation fair value gap in the PM. That makes me feel a lot more bearish. That one little clue. And if I saw a good continuation model, I might get in on that, but it hasn't happened. That didn't meet the criteria that I was looking for. It was a nice trade. I would have gotten in on the bottom side of this inversion. And then I highlighted the hourly open idea, shorting the above the hourly open, because I thought the hourly candle was going to come down. So reading that right. I'm not an expert at tape reading, but I know a few things, all from my mentors. A lot of it came from master friend. If he's watching, love you, bro. All right, coming down into this 15-minute busy. So move this. Small little inversion. I don't like small inversions. Small volume imbalance. So like, does it get a change in state right there? Outside of macro. Let's see here. We don't have any bullish SMT. Gee, look at that response. Boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna do, wow. There's a devil's mark, a tailless candle, so I don't like that. Didn't also come into consequent encroachment of that fair value gap, I don't believe. Let me look over here real quick. No, that always sketches me out. So a tailless candle, and it didn't dig into consequent encroachment of that. It would like, this feels like a fake out to me with a internal liquidity grab. Forms another inversion, something there, and comes down to here. But just wait for more information. There was never an inversion there anyways. Look at, that's, wow. Boom, see that candle? This is, you could just like long this. 300 tick candle. I've done that with my demo and evals. So that you just know, like, you get this feeling when candles are just gonna run. If it inverts this, that's interesting. The first presentation fair value got from the afternoon opening range. Gosh. So there's a tailless candle still. We'll mark that. I don't like that, but doesn't always come back for him. Change in state of delivery. Kind of see this. Oh, this is a high probability breaker. Or no, it's not. It's just a normal breaker. That's a lower time frame breaker maybe, but I don't have an inversion really. No SMT. Didn't tap into the consequent encroachment. Tailless candle. It's moving, and that's a big deal. Like, just wait for more information. What time is it? Outside of macro by a minute. I mean, gosh. Stuff's just crazy. Like, that's a 400 tick stop loss on 1 micro, 200 for 1 micro. There is a little inversion right there. And I feel like flipping the first presentation fair value gap is a significant signal. The gold Bach levels. So yeah. So on the 2187 gold Bach low, where's the extension way down there? Like, it could feasibly come down into this and still be bullish. Just it would be early to long. if we're looking at that Goldbach range. 729. Yeah, look at that. That's bearish. So we're on the low of the 729, which is similar to, no, not quite. I must be on the, I'm on the 243 right there. So change in state. Got some equal highs forming right there. High probability liquidity. Oops, oops, oops. So that's a fair value gap. In a swing point, high probability. Still wouldn't want to long it. Volume imbalance right here. Inside the 320 macro. Or I guess in the power hour, it's 315 to 345. But I would expect a run. So here we have the 3 o'clock hourly open. Take a look at that candle right there. So are we forming the wick above, like I was saying, that 1-to-1 short, or is it forming the wick below and gonna run up? Kind of just consolidating around the opening price on the 1 hour. But at the moment I'm just reading it. I'm not seeing anything I want to trade. 980 ticks. I keep being astonished by that. 980 ticks. How many ticks these 1 hour candles, 5-minute candles, 1-minute candles are in the last few days? Unreal. I forget. Do we have equal? Or yeah, equal lows below. Five minutes. Whoa! Look at that. What do we got? 27 seconds to close, but there's a 5-minute fair value gap right there. I was just wanting to see where those. Yeah, the equal lows are all down here, and if it goes down there, I'm pretty bearish anyways. Not certain I'd like to long that far down for this session. I'd rather target it with a short. Back to the 1 minute, see what happened. Took the tailless candle. There's a volume imbalance right there. All these volume imbalances. 1, 2, 3. Starting to look like a bullish. Well, that's kind of a bullish on a lower time frame, looking like a bullish mitigation block. And or breaker on the lower time frame. That's, man, that's looking like, this is looking like short to me. I don't, no SMT, not a huge requirement. Taking liquidity, that's inverting that. Inside the macro. Bad fill. Oh man, so much lag. That's a bummer. And I'm gonna get taken out. I can't even get my stuff adjusted. Oh boy. Okay, that was bad call. Because my screen is lagging so bad I can't even get these orders placed. I might collapse this trade because I can't manage it. I don't want to be in it. Okay, there we go. Screen is responding again. Oh man, I do not like that. And I also didn't check for one of my other criteria, higher time frame. So I think I'm gonna collapse this. I'm gonna move it to break even at least because I didn't check off one of my criteria. So I'm out, break even on that one. I got a little flustered there. That lag. Bummer. On the short, on the lower time frame, on the 1 minute, that was looking like a short setup. SMT is not required for me on a continuation. I'll leave my position tool down there. I got a bad fill because I was trying to get a fill in here and that ruined my stop size. And so I was like, all right, I can run a 250 tick stop. But I wanted, oh, there is a 5-minute inversion. I usually like to see something more like a 15, but on a continuation play, there's a 5-minute inversion right in here. And so that's where I would have, okay, that's what I didn't have for criteria, entry criteria meant. But look at this, it's pushing up anyways. Look at this volatility, some of these wicks. I mean, what was that, 3 micros? Break even on 3 micros. Which, it's also not sinking now, so good chance I was offsides anyways. Because with those kind of setups, usually they sink if they're gonna do it. No SMT, no bolt, well, at least not right there. Maybe there's, although I checked that a little while ago with this low. I don't like it when it does that, and I don't know why it does that. Oh, there we go. Now it's gonna sink, of course. Right there. Tailless candle. I could re-enter, but I'm feeling a little flustered after TradingView didn't respond well. And look at that. That wouldn't have been a good, look at this. So it's getting kind of wicky, kind of volatile. Tailless candle here. That one's been mitigated. This one is not. So this SIST has failed. We now have so looking more like a high resistance liquidity run right through here. Still have these equal highs. Don't need that inversion there because first presentation fair value gap. Looking around. Still not looking like anything I want to take part of. We'll just wait. Patience pays. 5-minute candle has no tail. 15-minute candle has no tail. 1 hour is a compression candle. The daily is a compression candle. Well, sorta. The 4 hour still is forming a gap below. So to balance it, it would come down, or otherwise it's going to leave a gap. Here's, what's this? 1 hour with 15-minute gap, but I don't trust it right now. I need more market structure. So one short break even on eval, just fine, because it would have been a loss anyway. I don't like this right here. So we have equal highs right there. This to me is a high probability breaker. If it closes above these volume imbalances, but there's no inversion, so we're just hovering around this hourly open. Now it's gonna rage. It's got that look in its eye. Don't tail this candle right there. Devil's mark. Yeah, it's got that look in its eye. You see that? Like all the stuff just disappeared. So I was saying, like, it's getting weird and laggy and glitchy for me. Tailless candle here. Guess I could just move the other drawing, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I might not get a trade. It's okay if I don't. My commitment to myself was to sit here and sit through power hour and tape read it. And if something comes along, cool. I was liking how that was looking. And then last second it said nope. So we took those equal highs, flipped the first presentation fair value gap, which that's not, gosh, it's like not my model quite. Fair value gap kind of makes me just want to open up a demo long, just scratch that itch of like, oh, it's gonna run. But it's also a bad habit. So maybe not. Equal highs up here, trendline liquidity. Maybe it gives me a continuation model. I guess I was down on the 30-second earlier because the 1 minute wasn't giving anything significant. Not normally on a 15-second chart. So took that liquidity, look, that candle, closed above, made an order block, tapped into a fair value gap. So the order block is high probability tapping into liquidity like that. Back to the 1 minute, retest of the breaker, retest of the afternoon FPFVG, So far, the 1 hour is looking bullish like I was expecting. Feel like it formed the wick with this consolidation below on the 1 hour. And it's just going to go up. Oh, look at that. See? Boom. Back to lower time frame. Not clean, not like a clear, like took that candle's liquidity. If this one had taken that one's liquidity, closed above, I could have gone for that on a demo or an eval. But this candle's now taken this liquidity, making it a little more lower probability, but like this closure right there, entering on that 1-to-1 would have been perfect. 1-to-2. But it hasn't been perfect price action lately. Part of the challenge has been navigating that. I'm not a seasoned trader, so I kind of, I was talking to some of the OGs who, say the price action was so clean 2-3 years ago that you could long and short about anything and win. And I was telling them that I'm growing up in the garbage is what it feels like, like just started in the NASDAQ last year, 1 year ago right now, and then started learning ICT 1 year ago. And an election year 2024, it was dicey, and everything going on with the tariffs really kind of shaking up the market. And there, of course, I'm not saying there aren't people making money. I got to keep that in mind. Like that's, in any situation, there's people making money, and I don't want it to be an excuse to say, oh, well, the market's trash, so I can't trade it. I can't make profit. That's the last thing I want to do. Like I remember mountain biking. All my buddies have, like back in the day, this is whatever, 20 years ago at this point, I guess I was in my 20s. It was when full suspension mountain bikes first came out, and all my buddies were buying full suspension bikes. So we were mountain biking, living in Colorado, and I had a hardtail at the time still, and I rode that hardtail, and it made me way better than all of my other friends on their full suspension bikes. So when I got a full suspension bike, so not only was I keeping up with them on the hardtail, but then when I got a full suspension mountain bike, was able to ride real well. Retesting into the first presentation fair value gap. Ooh, a little bit of yawn, sorry. 5 minutes formed a fair value gap below. I do like that. 5 minutes got a tailless candle. I don't like that. Does this power hour do nothing? So on the 1 minute liquidity sweep, say that 10 times fast, fair value gap, flipping that, I might be interested in a long. High probability targets. Still didn't dig into that 15-minute fair value gap like I wanted it to. Oh, we're inverting this. That is a liquidity sweep. That would take us down there. There's tailless candles every which way. Doesn't meet, well, it does have a 5-minute fair value gap up there. So this candle might close below that fair value gap. We're flipping. And that's back to my short thesis that I originally had. So that's higher, slightly higher. I don't like it when it does that. Higher. So I'm not going to call that an SMT because that's higher by a few ticks. And so it's not clear, not a clear SMT. It's liquidity down here. It just took this liquidity pool, went into a 5-minute fair value gap over here, closed below, retest. This is one of those split-second decisions, I suppose. I'll give it a shot. It's an eval. Just going for 1-to-1 lately. Oh fuck, I did a buy order. God damn it. Oh my gosh. I bought and didn't sold. Oh boy, what an amateur mistake. I wasn't even paying attention. Well, I'm gonna call that a mistake and chalk that up to being tired, and that would have been trade number 6 for today, I guess. So that's an L on that one. But I was sitting there staring at this, wondering like, why is prices going in my favor? Why is my P&L going down? And look at that. I was right. I had just bought and not sold. Oh man, I don't think I have ever done that real trading. Look at that. Call played out. So that's what for the afternoon? 3 out of 4 calls were wins. Is that right? Because I had 2. I forget. Anyways, probably like a 75% win rate for the afternoon. See what it does. Amateur mistake. Oh my gosh. Unreal. Oh, the browser's getting laggy. See, my mouse is, I don't know if you see that, if the recording is getting that. I feel like it's telling me to shut it down because it doesn't want to cooperate. The crosshairs aren't keeping up with the cursor. I feel like, there we go. I did the same thing when I had OBS running earlier in the day, and it was fine in between. That's cool. I can still tape read. So that 1-to-1 would have was a winner. Just went without me. Oh, I should leave that on my screen. I want to document that. Mistakes happen. That's why I'm sitting here. Making my mistakes, failing fast, as they say. I'm gonna put all this other little stuff in there too. Folder. Save that for later. recorded all my other trades. So let's see what's happening. It's not, wow, come on, browser. I don't think too much is running. Yeah, it's slow over here. Guess I can close some of this stuff. I don't know if it makes a difference. Let's see if it does. Rejected from this fair value gap. Still have a tailless candle down here. So I'm just kind of reading the order flow right now. Yeah, my mind is slowing down. What am I looking for? Tailless candle. I mean, I've been trading since, or on the charts since 7 a.m. New York time, so. I'm gonna log out. Zoom out for a minute. Look at that balanced price range on the 5-minute. I mean, yeah, rejected from that first presentation, fair value gap, balanced price range. It's coming for these lows without me. So closing that, removing, let's take some of this stuff off of here. Into power hour, midnight open 9:30. So this afternoon profile, like, it's not wanting to do anything. So what we can see is we had a two-stage 9:30 delivery. So 9:30 provided a reversal. AM also had a reversal. 10:15, super early. And then lunch didn't, so the afternoon so far, I guess it's not over yet, but lunch didn't really provide a clean reversal. It's like, I don't want to call it an afternoon continuation, but it is higher than the opening price. So we'll call that an early lunch reversal. And then, yeah, I'm not going to call that an afternoon, at least not with what I'm seeing. Then the afternoon just kind of consolidated. And who knows what happens in the next little bit, but. Looks like it's moving now. It wants. Let's update this on local targets. So buy side was taken. I don't think we're going to see the session high. We have a session low. We have a session low there. Don't need that. Don't need that. We can take that off. I don't think we'll make session low. Just to simplify. Gotta check for SMT up there. Not clear enough. Slightly higher. Slightly higher. Slightly higher. Low probability. making more equal lows. See that? Relative equal lows. All right. Well, that was my last trade of the day. I have a limit of 3 on my eval for myself. 2 were this morning, 1 was this afternoon just now. And given that price action is not really impressing me at the moment. Not saying I won't do something eventually. Feeling like it's time to shutting it down. We're in the 350 macro. There is an inversion. It took this tailless candle, but you see how deep it's just digging? It's just starting to give me a seek and destroy vibe. I don't like it. Which I was kind of expecting for the afternoon session after the morning, so that's all right. I showed up, I did my thing, and I can call it a day. I put in my effort, so that's all you can do. I think I'm a little red on my eval, and I'm green on funded, so okay. I'll take it. Yeah, call that good.